What's up, everybody? Have you ever found yourselves at a fork in the road? Like, you're not exactly sure which path you should take as both seem tantalizing and interesting? Well, that's what I went through on June 30th when not just one, but two animated films premiered at the same time. The first one being Nimona, and the last one being Ruby Gillman. Nimona was easily the one I was the most interested in, since its production history and how it came back from the dead made it a very unique situation that we don't often see. Usually when a movie's canceled, then that's it. You say, well, that's a break, everybody. We tried our best, but hey, at least we got paid by the end of the day. But Nimona actually managed to survive as Annapurna and Netflix decided to buy the film themselves and finish it. Disney was never going to do it, and after finally watching it, yeah, I can see why they hated it. Originally, I was just going to review both of these movies in one video, save me some time while I move on to my next big project. But then I watched Nimona, and guys, it's actually amazing. No joke, it's really something special. Aside from the first 20 so minutes feeling a bit rushed to get things started, you have a deep, mature, funny, beautifully animated, and really wholesome movie that I think deserves its own full-length video. If anything, if it wasn't for Across the Spider-Verse, this might honestly be my choice for Best Animated Feature of the Year. I wouldn't just say that to be nice. Honestly, it's a great movie, and I'll talk more about it in its own video very soon. But for now, let's talk about Ruby Gillman, the other animated movie that came out on June 30th and nobody's talking about, and is also bombing like crazy as we speak. Yeah, at the time of this video, this movie is not making money. It's actually looking like it's gonna be DreamWorks' biggest bomb ever, which is a shame considering what their last movie was. I really do feel bad for everybody who worked on this movie and genuinely wanted people to enjoy it. It's less their fault and definitely more Universal, who did not market this movie at all. You thought Elemental's marketing was done with that stupid Claude Boy and his Riz? Well, at least it got people talking about Elemental. You ever heard of that saying, there's no such thing as bad press? Well, that applies to Elemental because it's the only press it got. But Ruby Gillman? Everywhere I go, bitches always know. Actually, they don't know. Nobody knows about this movie. I keep seeing people be surprised when they hear this movie released, and I completely understand. The marketing was embarrassing for this film. And what little marketing that we did get is honestly terrible too. They made this look like the most generic, uninspired piece of shit they ever made. And this is the company that usually, their bad films are at least notoriously bad. Like, you'll never forget them for as long as you live bad. But not Ruby Gillman. It just looked really boring and uninteresting and just not worth going to see. They spoil both the twist villain and the final battle in the trailers. I'm not kidding when I say that. If you've seen any trailer for this movie, wouldn't be surprised if you didn't, then you've seen this movie already. There is nothing left to surprise you. I don't want to hear any bitching about spoilers in the comments because the movie's marketing beat you to it. But, just in case, I'm spoiling this movie in this review. Not like I'm any different from DreamWorks. But, okay, shitty marketing is one thing. Elemental had shitty marketing, and it turned out to actually be a good movie. The problem with Elemental was the marketing was very misleading, and they hyped up the story like it was gonna be the next Zootopia, when that really wasn't the focus of the story. It was more about the romance between Wade and Ember. I was really hoping that Ruby Gillman would be the same way. Maybe it wouldn't be this generic piece of shit that it looked like it was gonna be in the marketing. Maybe it would actually be a good movie. So I went and saw the movie. I was the literal only person in the theater when watching it. I left the theater remembering how lonely my existence was after that. And yeah, the movie was actually kind of bad.
I think I am having a panic attack.
Okay, when I say it was bad, I don't mean like offensively bad or anything. It's harmless at the end of the day, but despite how awful the marketing was for this movie, it actually represented the movie perfectly, ironically. It is the most boring generic film you could have possibly created. It's actually kind of impressive how this movie did nothing new or interesting to try and deviate itself away from any other movie. Stop me if you heard this one before, guys. The movie is about Ruby Gillman, who wants to be a normal teenager. All she wants to do is fit in and take her crush out to prom. But then, through wacky circumstances, our main character learns that she has superpowers. Not only that, but her family's been keeping the secret for a long time, and now she's destined to fight some evil that the family's been fighting their whole lives. Why yes, movie, I have seen Superman, and Spider-Man, and Batman Beyond, and Ben 10, and Fire Breather, and pretty much any superhero thing ever. The movie switches the roles of the mermaids and the Krakens, with the Krakens being the hero and the mermaids being the villains. Insert live action Little Mermaid joke here. But the movie does nothing with that concept. If you just played the story straight with mermaids being the heroes and Krakens being the villains like you normally would, it would make no difference in the story. What's even the point of the role reversal if you don't show us how that would deviate from the normal scenario? Oh, well, I guess the mermaid can't grow super big and wreck buildings, except they can. They can totally do that in this world, so really, what was the point in the switch? It just feels cheap, like they did it for the novelty and nothing else. You want a Kraken to be the main character? That's fine, but why hype up the role reversal at all when you do jack shit with it? Everything that you expect to happen, happens in this movie. Her mom will only tell her the half-truth because she's afraid of what her daughter will do. But frustrated with that, she goes to see the grandma who teaches her how to use her powers. Meanwhile, the mermaid comes in and tricks her into being her friend. But the marketing already revealed this to be a twist villain, so there's no suspense to it at all. The movie oddly takes the twist villain super seriously. Like, it actually has the gall to expect you to not see it coming when it's the most obvious, predictable twist you can possibly imagine. Nerissa fucking sucks as a villain, I'm sorry. I'm not even gonna compare her to the villains of DreamWorks' previous film, as that would just be an insult to all of them. The movie brings up this war between Krakens and mermaids, but we never really get much backstory to it. They just fight because the mermaids are evil, I guess? And I'm just like, that's it? They're just evil for no good reason? Nerissa just wants to fuck shit up because it's funny to her? Well, okay, but like, can you at least make her entertaining? Like, make her funny or petty or something, anything. If you're not gonna explore the war between the Krakens and mermaids and try to get both sides of the story, then at least make the villain entertaining. Either give them depth or give them fun things to do. Or even both if you can manage, but pick at least one, because Nerissa is just boring. You know what would have made a much better story? If they were actually friends the whole time. If the whole movie actually focused on them becoming friends, overcoming the decades of hate between their kinds. Sure, we've seen that before too, but giving the setting, that would actually help the role reversal make a lot more sense. Both sides see each other as the villains in the conflict, and not only that, but the parents of both main characters hate each other and fought each other right before they were born. Hell, this movie could have even grown a pair and had them be in a romance, making it even more unique and interesting than the typical story. Maybe have Nerissa's daughter be forced to try and be friends with Ruby, but after spending time with Ruby and eventually falling in love with her, she rebels against her mother and wants to end the war altogether. That would be a way more engaging story, and it would actually give the character some depth. Basically, it would be the gay allegory that people wanted Elemental to be, while at the same time actually being gay. By diving more into the conflict between both sides, it would have also made the mother's decision to lie about the whole thing far more understandable. But as it is, it just plays out like any generic superhero story. Nerissa wants to fuck shit up because the story needs a villain, and Ruby's gotta stop her because the story needs a hero. It's lame. It's just really fucking lame. For some reason, the mom keeps trying to lie to her daughter, even though telling her the whole truth by now would make everything better between them. Oh, but if they talk things out in the first 30 minutes, then Ruby wouldn't go into the ocean and meet her grandmother. I hate it when movies can only progress the plot forward because the main characters are either too stubborn or too stupid to just talk to one another. The mom can explain that the grandmother tried to force the throne onto her, but she didn't want it and wanted to have a normal life. But then that would actually require us to elaborate on a character's motivation. And a movie this bare boned and dry can't do that. Seriously, the mom brings up why she left her home like twice. It's never even explained why she went on dry land to live with humans in the first place. She just did because, I guess the grandmother was just that bad to her? We don't hear about that or see that or anything? Like, it's never explained. They don't show us or even tell us anything about this. It's dumb. This movie's dumb. I don't want to talk about this stupid ass movie anymore. It's just so dumb. Is there anything I liked about this movie? It's pretty. The art style is nice for the most part, but some of these background characters are just a little too, I like this eccentric captain character who's obsessed with Krakens and stuff. He literally had the only funny jokes in the movie, and the best one involved him accidentally harpooning one of our main characters. I'm dead serious. I honestly do feel bad that this movie is failing because I know a lot of hard work went into making it, but honestly, I just can't recommend it. I suppose if your 5-year-old wanted to see this really badly, then that'd be fine. Like I said, it's not offensive or anything. I'm just never gonna remember this movie. It is too bare-boned and by the numbers to leave any actual impact on me. I've seen this story a million times, and unless you do something really unique or interesting with it, then I'm just gonna rewatch Puss in Boots: The Last Wish again. A movie that was both deep, interesting, unique, and had great villains. Or at least watch Nimona again, which I definitely will, if only to piss off Disney, who's only now realizing just how much they fucked up in trying to kill this movie.
Give me everything.
Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me!